up so that one person can't be in control for too long. That's the whole idea about term limits. You got 4 years and then you get elected again, you get another 4 years, and then you're fucking done. I'm just saying this. This is not something that I like fully support, but there's something to be said for someone staying in there for a long time and getting it right if they're good at it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I was
it backfires
in any other job, it would backfire with power and control. The problem is we are terrified of having someone like Putin, who's in control of Russia for decades, right?
No, for sure.
But if you had someone who was good at the job, you would want them to stay on the job. Like if you had the best CEO of your company, you're making record money and everything's doing great and the products are incredible, you'd want to keep that guy as a CEO. He's obviously killing it. And when Steve Jobs was running Apple, he's killing it. You don't want to remove him as a CEO.
Because you know how long it takes to build anything, right?
Right, and how long it takes to get good at your job.
To build anything.
Right, and to figure out who are the right people, who's backstabby, what are the issues, who's trying to climb the political ladder and they're just thinking about themselves only, they're sociopaths. Figure it out. It takes a long time to fucking work your cabinet out. If you had a president that was a young president that gets in at like 38, 40 years old and 20 years of running the country correctly, that's what most of these dictatorships have as a benefit.
Yeah.
It's horrible for the people. But the benefit of having one guy run things and just keep it locked up, and this is the right way to do it. We've been doing it this way forever. This is correct.
Yeah. It's interesting that you got a couple.
The most important job ever, and a new guy gets it, or a new woman, never yet, but someday, every 4 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And often trying to undo everything that was done the 4 years before. Yeah, well, so that's what term limits brought in. But then on the flip side, we don't have term limits in Canada, and Trudeau's going to be there for, if you're not a fan of Trudeau, you go, oh, I wish we had term limits, because he's been there over 8 years now, right? So that's because he's getting elected.
Voted out.
He might
be getting voted out. It seems like the Canadians are leaning towards getting rid of him. Is that correct?
It's one of those things where it's kind of feels like it's almost like 50-50 ultimately, but who knows? I think it definitely feels like it could happen.
Who doesn't want to get rid of him? Who are those people?
A lot of it's regional. I guess it's you know what I knew if we were going to talk about this, I wanted to kind of sort of make this point because I want Americans to understand what Canada is. It's exactly like here. It's the same type of people that like Biden are the people that like Trudeau. Like the people in Canada that vote for Trudeau are the exact same people that they like Biden too.
Right.
There's nobody in Canada that likes Trudeau that also likes Trump. There's also nobody in Canada that likes Pierre Poilievre that likes Biden. It's exactly the same. It's the same division. It's this, even on social media, it's the same. Like you go on social media, you go on TikTok, you got angry conservatives in Canada saying fuck Trudeau, and we're turning into a communist country, and all of this stuff, like completely the exact same thing as here. So it's just if I'm not here like trying to be a spokesperson for Canada or anything, but they would not want that.
Well, I think that's what scares us the most about Canada is that Canada is so similar to the United States, but we're seeing your rights erode. There's also weird bills that keep getting passed. The C-16 bill, the mandatory pronouns, mandatory use of someone's pronouns, and then there was the fact that you guys don't really have freedom of speech. But you have hate laws, you have hate speech laws, and then you also have some weird shit going on with Canada trying to regulate the internet. Yeah. And with the government trying to regulate podcasts and make podcasts subject to their...
They did try. I did a little research on this in case it came up. They tried, and they haven't put into effect that regulation of the internet as far as regulating disinformation. That has not been put into effect. And Trudeau actually said he would not put that into effect. It was sort of a subset of, it's sort of like, you've got your extreme left wing here, and then you have cooler heads, and they did not actually put that into effect.
Is it still on the table?
Trudeau has said that he would never put that into effect.
Well, I think he's saying that now because he knows he's fucked.
And so the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, okay, that's kind of like our Constitution, I guess. They say we have freedom of expression, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly. So
but
we
just
do
the
have
fact that you have elements of your government that would even consider that.
Yeah, but it's like
That's
here.
terrifying.
It's like here.
It
it's
is.
Like here. And that's
the same
It's just
exact
the same.
kind of
It's the
people.
same thing. Like if you don't agree with it, then it's the same thing as fuck Joe Biden. It's the same thing. Fuck Trudeau.
Trudeau. Same
So
thing.
and so because it's interesting. Like I just really want Americans who are just not have never been to Canada, right, to understand that like there's.
Are you working for the Canadian Ministry of
I would consider it someday.
Tourism and Travel?
You know what I was thinking about? Like in Canada, you don't have to be born in Canada to run for Prime Minister. You could run for Prime Minister of Canada and come up and and solve all this stuff. I mean, you have to live up there, but it's a nice place. You come on up to Canada. You would win too. That's the thing that would be amazing. You would win, and you could just
imagine if I became Prime Minister of Canada.
Can you imagine? I was just thinking.
Do you think it's crazy Donald Trump being president of the United States? That would be next craziest thing.
That would be the next craziest thing.
Crazy. Almost more crazy, because at least he was like hinting about running for president forever.
Yeah.
If I just on a whim
just decided to go run for the Prime Minister of Canada and win, because you would win, because you have so many fans up there. You really do, and that's why I want.
That's so scary.
That is
so unqualified to run a country.
Well, I mean, you've got a lot of valid concerns, and you feel strongly about things. I think you should run. I would support you. I think that would be amazing.
I want to roll up to the World Economic Forum high on mushrooms.
See, in Canada, by the way, mushrooms are basically legal in Canada now. Weed is.
Yeah.
Well, here's something. Trudeau, again, not. He did legalize weed. That is one thing that he did do. So
congratulations, you did one good thing.